Hello friends, how are you? Today we shall study about practical applications of heat insulators. Bad conductors help to conserve energy in a system. That's why we use them in our daily life. Glass wool, cotton slag, asbestos, enclosed air, vacuum, etc. are the common insulating materials available in daily life, which we use in daily life. So what are the applications? Let us see about them. False ceiling is provided in rooms and the space in between is filled with asbestos or sawdust so as to keep the room cool. The reason behind this is that wool used for false ceiling is a bad conductor of heat. That's why it does not allow the cooling of inside to escape and heat from outside to enter in. Animals in the cold countries are generally covered with thick fur. The fur traps a large amount of air and acts as an insulator. Thus, the heat generated within their body does not flow out and hence keep them warm. Actually, that heat, because here is a bad conductor of heat and it is entrapped between those fur, so it acts as an insulating layer. We wear woolen clothes in the winter because woolen yarn contains fiber which traps air just like the fur does. Since air is a bad conductor of heat, it does not allow the body heat to flow outward. As our body stops losing heat, we feel warm. Mud houses with thatched roofs keep cool. Thatched roofs, which we in our language we call chappar or chapo. So mud house with thatched roofs keep cool in summer and warm in winter as compared to the concrete houses. It is because the thatched roof contains a large amount of trapped air. Similarly, mud is a bad conductor of heat. Hence, in summer, heat from outside does not flow in, and in winters, heat from inside does not flow out. These thatched house roofed mud houses are called huts in our language. Thus, they remain cool in summer and warm in winter. In cold countries, double glass window panes are used. Not only in cold countries, but multi-story buildings in us where there is a central air conditioning, there also these double glass window panes are used. Why this is? Because they have a gap filled with air. The trapped air acts as an insulator and does not allow the heat from the room to flow out. Thus the room keeps warm. Birds puff up their feather in winter. If we have noticed the birds, if we observe birds, we will find that they have puffed their feathers up in winter, especially when it is very cold. Why do they do that? Because in doing so, they trap a large amount of air, which in turn acts as an insulator and does not allow their body heat to flow out. Appliances like electric kettles, electric irons, electric ovens, soldering rod, cooking pans, handle of pressure cooker are provided with wooden or plastic handles. If we notice, all the handles will be either wooden or plastic, and in plastic also it would be a bakelite, a black color plastic, which is insulator of heat, because they are bad conductors of heat. Hence, the heat from the hot appliances does not flow to the handles, with the result that we can hold them easily. Slabs of ice, if we visit some ice factory and observe, then we will find that slabs of ice are covered with sawdust or gunny bags to prevent them melting. The sawdust or gunny bag contain a large amount of trapped air, which acts as an insulator and does not allow outside heat to reach the ice and to melt it. Now let us see what is convection. When liquids and gases are heated, the heat is carried from one part to another by actual movement of the particle. This movement of particles due to the temperature difference between different parts of the same substance is called convection. Please underline this from when liquids or gases. So this is applicable on liquids and gases only, where actual movement of particles is possible. So what happens, from hotter region particles move to the colder region, and from colder region particles which are having lower temperature move to the more hot region and get heated there and again return to the colder region. So this movement of the particle due to temperature difference between different parts of the same substance is called convection. Convection can take place in liquids and gases only when the particles are free to move about. Why it is only happen in liquid and gases? Because particles are free to move. In solids, particles not are allowed to move. Exception is mercury, which gets heated by conduction and is a good conductor of heat. We have studied about mercury in previous class. Now we will see applications of convection current in gases. First is ventilation in rooms. The process by which impure and warm air inside a room is continuously replaced by fresh air from outside is called ventilation. And these are ventilators. If we look in our houses or in our classroom, we will find that ventilators are near the ceiling. Why it is so? Because inside air is comparatively warmer than the outside air, because there are many people inside of the house or inside of the room of classroom. So temperature is higher than the outside, so heat or air continuously gets heated and rises above and vents and goes out through the ventilators. Warm air being lighter rises up and leaves the room through the ventilators provided near the ceiling. The fresh air is filled in the room from the doors and windows. That's why windows and doors are always made lower than the ventilators, because cooler air tends to be heavier than the hotter air. The convection current so set up provides a continuous supply of fresh air in the room. That's why we feel better when sitting near windows in summers, and we feel awkward or uncomfortable when we are sitting by the window or by the door in winters. Second, land breeze and sea breeze. Land and sea breezes are actually convection currents. During the day, sun shines equally on the land and the sea, as we all know. However, the land warms up more quickly than the sea. Actually, water has less capability of getting hotter, so that's why it gets warm comparatively slowly in comparison to land. The air over the land becomes hotter and rises upwards. This results in fall of pressure over the surface of the land. To take its place, the colder air from the sea moves in. This air current from the sea to the land is called sea breeze. Please underline, air current from the sea to land is called sea breeze. This is the definition of sea breeze, and we can experience it near our Anasagar lake around Chowpatty, or for better experience you should visit Baradari in Daulatbagh. So this is warm air and this is cool air, cool sea breeze coming in, and this is this is sea breeze. In after sunset, because land gets hot quickly, it loses heat as quickly. This is the quality of any substance, that those substances which get heated easily, they get cool easily. That's why land loses heat faster than the sea water. As a result, the air over the sea is warmer at night. The air over the sea being warmer rises up and to take its place, cooler air from the land comes in and starts moving towards the sea. The convection current from the land to the sea is called land breeze. Please underline this. This is the definition of land breeze. The convection current from the land to the seas is called land breeze, and this is how it works. This is sea. Warm air is rising up and the cooler air on the land is going to take its place. Radiation. The transfer of heat energy from a hot body to cold body without the presence of any medium is called radiation. Please underline this. This is the definition of radiation. So far we have studied about various methods of heat transfer from one place to another. In all of them, some kind of particles were included. But in the radiation, there is no particles are present, and that means no medium is there. We feel warm when we sit in the sun in front of the fire or in front of an electric heater. How does heat travel from the sun, from the fire, and from the electric heater to us? There is no direct contact between us and the source of heat. Therefore, heat transfer cannot be due to the conduction. It cannot be convection because the hot air rises upwards and not towards us, so it is not the condition. Furthermore, when we put a cardboard or any insulator between us and the source of heat, we no longer feel hot. The heat from any distant source reaches us by another mode of heat transfer called radiation. Actually, there is nothing between our atmosphere to sun. Still that sun rays carry their warmth to us by the method of radiation. All hot substances, objects, whether solid, liquid or gases, transfer heat by radiation. Radiation needs no medium. Transfer of heat by radiation can occur even in vacuum. Vacuum means there is nothing, there are not even gases there. Thermal radiation is called infrared radiation. This radiation travels with the speed of light. Thermal radiation can even travel through the vacuum. So what does this thermal radiation called? Thermal radiation is called infrared radiation. Please underline this. Now, radiant heat or thermal radiation. The heat energy which transferred from a hot body to a cold body without being absorbed by the space between the hot and cold bodies is called radiant heat or thermal radiation. Please underline this. Now let me explain this. Actually, what happens that in the convection or conduction, we have noticed that air between us or some hot place or cold place, that air also absorbs some heat and gets or loses some heat and becomes hot or cold. But or metal such like spoon, all the places between our thumb to the tip where we have touched it with the flame, all the space between them will be warm because all of the particles have absorbed the heat. But in the thermal radiation, that is not the case. There is no absorption between the hot and cold bodies, and this is called radiant heat. The radiant heat is a kind of electromagnetic energy. About electromagnetism you will study in higher classes, and this is similar to light energy. It travels in the space at the speed of 10 raised to the power 3 into 10 raised to the power a kilometer per second. When it is absorbed by some solid object, it raises its temperature. It must be remembered that radiation is the fastest mode of heat transfer from the hot body to a cold body because it travels with the speed of the light. Until date, we have not find anything which travels faster than the light, so it is the fastest method. Absorption of heat, of radiant heat by a body. As mentioned above, the radiant heat can rise the temperature of a body only if it gets absorbed by the body. If anything is not absorbing it, it will not raise the temperature. Furthermore, it has been found that the darker or blacker the surface of the body, the more is the heat radiation absorbed, and hence the higher will be the rise in the temperature. If you notice, if we are wearing dark color clothes in the summer and walking out, we will find it more, we will feel more heat. However, if the body is white or shining or has a polished surface, then most of the radiant heat is reflected from the surface of the body, and hence its temperature does not rise appreciably. That's why people advise us that please wear light shade clothes in the summer and dark shade clothes in the winter, and we can practically experience that if we are wearing some dark color dress in summer and walking out in sunlight, then we will find it that we will feel that almost as if our skin is burning. Applications of radiant heat. It is more comfortable to wear white or light colored clothes in the hot summer than black or dark colored clothes. This is because they absorb less radiant heat. I told you just right. The bottom of the cooking vessel is made black, but sides are made shiny. It is because the black absorbs radiant heat rapidly from the fire. The shiny sides do not radiate heat quickly. Thus, the heat gets trapped between the vessel, which gets heated rapidly. If we observe the pan or pressure cooker, we will find that base of the bottom of that vessel is black or blackened, and sides are shiny. This is why we see them. Tea or coffee stays hot for a longer time in a shiny pot than in a blackened pot. That's why kettles or vessels usually are made up of either china clay or steel. This is because the shiny pot is poor radiator of the radiant heat, and that's why heat gets remains entrapped inside of the vessel, and tea and coffee stays hotter in shiny vessels. The buildings painted white or with light colors stay cooler in summer, as the white or light colors reflect most of the radiant heat energy coming from the sun. That's why we will see that places where temperature remains usually high, buildings are usually painted in white color or light color. So this was your chapter. In the next class we shall take up another chapter. Till now, enjoy, do your studies hard, and keep yourself safe. God bless you.